Okay, let's discuss the 302. It is going to look almost identical to the 300. However, you're going to have typically a red strap, typically a black strap. That coordinates with the black button and the red button. Okay, one button for one dog, the other button for the other dog. Now, in order to program, let's say, a 300 system to take two collars, two receivers like this, you don't need to buy an extra system if you happen to get another dog. You can work with one remote and two receivers. You may actually want two systems, but you don't have to do it that way, all right? So, to program the function to take these two collars, right? When you program, it needs to be on momentary and it needs to be on 0, all right? When I say momentary, you'll see an M and a C on the screen. Now, the M and C on the back of the remote, the small button, not the power button, but the M and C button here. All right, you're going to push and hold that, you'll hear an audible tone, and that's when it has changed to a different function. There it is. So we are on momentary. M, and then you want 0. The way you achieve 0, of course, is with the dial. All right, M and 0. Now, this is set up for a one-dog system because 1D flashes at the top. You want to see 1D and you want to see 2D in order to use a two-dog system. Okay, so you need to press the red button, the black button, and over here is the T button. And we're going to do it in that order. Red, black, and then this side button here. You're going to push and hold it. You'll see a couple numbers pop up, and then it'll make audible tone. Okay, there we are. So now we see 1D flash, and then if we use this T button here, okay, it will cycle through to show 2D at the bottom. This is vibrate on a one-dog system. This T toggles between one dog and two dog. We'll get into it a little bit more. You don't always have to push that button in order to give stimulation to, say, dog 2 or dog 1. But when you're programming, that allows you to set your levels and switch back and forth without pushing the button, giving stimulation to the dog just for the purpose of seeing it on the screen to make adjustments, right? All right, so we're on momentary. We don't train on momentary. I talked about it a lot. We're going to push M and C in the back again to go through the functions to find continuous only. Here we are, push and hold. Okay, let's see what we have now. We have just C, so that's continuous. All right, now we've run through the levels. We've turned the dial, and the number is associative to what level you're giving stimulation at. 0 is program, 1 through 100, right? 100 being 100%. All right, so here we are. We want to make sure that 1D, the first dog, right, is associated to the black collar here. Now, we're going to go back to momentary. However, it was necessary to go through all these steps, make sure both of these are working, right? Go back to momentary, again with M and C. And this is a one-time deal, right? You don't have to do this every time you turn the collar on, but let's get it set up right. You guys practice. Press M and C to cycle through again. Okay, now we have just momentary. All right, here's where it gets a little bit tricky. To put this into program mode, you either touch the red dot on the receiver here to the red dot on the remote. If you have the magnet system, that's all there are is magnets. So you can just touch the magnet to it. All right, you'll see it's going to turn green, but I'm going to hold it there until it flashes green. That's program mode for the remote. All right, here we are. We're going to touch and hold. Okay, there we are, it's program mode. Take your remote that is on one dog, M for momentary, and 0. You're going to push the black button and hold it, and then the red button. Now, what you'll notice here is I took too long explaining it, and this isn't flashing anymore. That's right, go right back to it. hold it. All right, red turns it off. And we go green to turn on. We're gonna come up here and hold. All right, remember this when I said it got tricky, right? Here it is. Magnet. There it is, green, and we're gonna hold it. Flashing green. Okay, now, M and 0. Push the black button, S1, push the red button. That tone came from the collar, okay? All right. We want to program second receiver. All right, we had to do this a few times because I talked more than I was actually demonstrating. Let's see if we can just do it real quick. Now, T on the side, it toggles between 1 dog and 2 dog. We're going to push T on the side, and you'll see a T that comes up. Now the next one is dog 2. All right, we're still on momentary, we're still on 0, but we need to put this in program mode. Magnet to the red dot here. Hold it, solid green, and it'll flash here in just a few seconds. Program mode. All right, now you push red button and then black button, okay? Now, red button is associative to red collar, black button associative to black collar. All right, let's take a look and make sure everything worked. Now, being on momentary, we're gonna go back to continuous, press and hold M and C. Okay, audible tone, we have just continuous on here. So that's exactly where we want to be. Now, if you push the button when it's on 0, it doesn't work, all right? Shouldn't work, right? That's the program mode, but 0 is 0, that's all. Now, just for the sake of numbers, I'm gonna go up to 10. All right. Now, at any time you can push either the red button or the black button. You don't have to toggle through. But I'm holding the red strap, I'm gonna push the red button, right? Push the red button. Red light, okay? So that's working. Now, black collar, black button. Red light, those are working. Here we are, let's look at both. Okay, black, red, that's it. All right, let's talk about boost. To go to boost, you have to go back to momentary. We keep going back and forth to momentary, but again, you're only gonna do this once. All right, we are on 2D, but we want to go to momentary. Press and hold MC. Audible tone, now we're on momentary, right? Go down to 0. Now, here's what you need to do. You're gonna press and hold the red button, and you'll see a 1 that'll pop up instead of the 0. When the 1 pops up, you turn the dial to the setting that you want. We'll push and hold here. We should just about be there. There it is, there's 1. All right, it's in program mode. The 1 flashes, the 2D flashes. We like to set them at about 15 for boost. When you find a 15, push the red button again. Okay, it's set. Now, we want to set the black collar, correct? Toggle button on the side. Now we're at 1 dog, okay? We haven't set this one yet. We set boost only for the red. So we're on momentary, we go to 0. We're gonna press and hold the black button because that's associated with the black collar. Push and hold. I think it's about 5 seconds, and then you'll see a 1 will appear. Now the 1 and the 1D flashes. Dial up to 15. Push the black button again, and it's set. All right, so you can set boost levels at different rates for different dogs. It's important. My pointer, she works on actually the black button. Her boost is 15, I believe. And my old partner, his boost is 10. So what's important about this is, number 1, let's get it off momentary. Press and hold M and C. Here we are, continuous. Okay. So let's say we teach at 10, but all of a sudden, squirrel on the other side of the street, dog runs for the squirrel, car's coming. And you need a higher level to stop them in their tracks and get their attention quickly. Lots of videos on really the application of everything. This would be a recall, right? So the black button for the black collar. All right, here's your teaching level. And then suddenly you need boost. Now you go down and push the red button at the same time. That gives you your boost, all right? So it is plus 15 of whatever is here on the screen. For example, you know, from 10 to 25, right? But when you up the level to say 12, then it's 27, of course. It's not set that something is always going to be 25. It is plus your number, plus 15 in this case, relative to the number here on the remote. All right, so red collar. The other dog goes to chase a squirrel, right? You're going to start with the red button, and then to boost, now you've held the red button, and then you hold the black button. Okay, that's the way it works. It's a bit different. It works really well when you get used to it. You can carry one remote. You don't need two different systems. If you have two adults in the house, maybe you do have two systems. It's what works best for you. There are some models out that take 3 and 4 different collars on one remote. I don't have that many dogs, so that's not something I need. I think it's a bit cumbersome to try to remember all of the dogs and all the colors. I've seen people use paint pens and put paint. You know, these come in lots of colors. Maybe you got a pink one, maybe you got a purple one, orange, green, blue, red, black, brown, I think they have. So you could take a paint pen and you could color it, you know, whatever color is associated to the collar itself. One more thing, just in case you're watching this and you have not watched the other videos, let's talk about power cord. Okay, pigtail. There's a rubber flap here. Pull that open. Okay, one in the collar, one in the receiver. If you get the 302 system, you'll have another splitter so you can charge all three at once. So, of course, this is your wall plug. When you talk about how much battery life are you going to have, this is going to flash green. That's a full charge. It flashes orange when it is about halfway full, and it's going to flash red when you need to hurry up, finish training, get this on the charger. You know, you should be rotating these collars every 3 or 4 hours. Again, if you're watching the videos, they should be on the side of the neck. Okay, strap goes under, buckle goes on top, but it should sit low at the base of the neck. That's where most of the muscle is. This contracts the muscle. The other brands out there, they do give that shock, but this is a contraction of the muscle like a medical TENS unit. It should sit on the dog's neck closest to the handler. So if the handler is over here, that's where the box should sit. It shouldn't sit over here because with a contraction of the neck, it will turn towards the box, away from the handler. So make it easy. Make the contraction and the dog look right at you, okay? If you're not doing healing exercises or any kind of leash work, switch sides. Sit around the house, put it on the side that you don't have to worry about because you're not using a leash. So realistically, when do you not need to have it on? If they're not wearing it and you need it, you've missed an opportunity. If you have guests over and they're not wearing a collar and they jump on the guest, right, the absence of punishment is reinforcement. So when nothing happens to cause an uncomfortable sensation for jumping on a guest, they must think it's okay. So yes, be consistent with it, but furthermore, be consistently correct. So on until completion or change in behavior. And you'll see that in our other lessons, or we teach it in person. On until completion or change in behavior. You know, something else, it has to touch to work. It needs to be snug, okay? that shock cord or bungee cord needs to be engaged on the neck. It needs to be stretched just a little bit, okay? A pair of sweatpants that's a size 4X are gonna fall right off of me. But a large is gonna sit right on my hips because the elastic is partly engaged. You know, have it sit on the neck. It has to make contact. If you can put your fingers between the contacts and the skin, it's not tight enough. You know, with a lot of activity, running and retrieving and things like that, this is going to flex. It's going to flex quite a bit, okay? I mean, it can flex 2-3 inches. So when you put it on your dog, have it flex a half an inch, but it needs to be snug. It needs to sit on there so it will work.